What's up, team? Sean from Rest to Live here, and this is a continuation of really simple ways to think about how to start a business that is low cost, low technical skills. Anyone can do it, and saturation of market isn't a real concern. I think one of the things we often discuss is how and where to invest, how to grow your money. But I think the missing component for a lot of folks is how to get started, how to have something on the side or a business that you can grow. In our last video, we really talked about the idea of a lead generation company, how simple it would be to get something started on that front. I happened to be sitting at my son's swimming practice last night, and I noticed on the floor the steps weren't really properly slip proofed, right? It was the old tape was starting to peel. It wasn't even very clear where the steps were. The paint color was almost the same color as the sort of like step grip. And I tweeted about it. I put a short video out about it. I got a pretty good response on it. So I thought maybe that's something people are interested in hearing about today. So the first thing I do whenever I think about these things is I start to research around that idea. So when I saw that, the first thing that came to mind was how to help businesses protect themselves from lawsuits. Well, what is the cost of a lawsuit? Then it got me thinking about personal issues as well. What's happening with our cars? Fraudulent hit and runs, fraudulent cases are on the rise around faking car accidents. So I wanted to use that as my premise for this idea that anyone can start. So about 20 minutes ago, I went and purchased two quick and easy domain names. I just want to show you for a fact that they're actually out there and they're available. I'll tell you what those are in a few minutes here. But first, what I want to do is share my screen and give you an idea of how I start to think about and research this idea. Excuse me. So what you're seeing here is just a really basic search, right? The average slip and fall settlement is between $10,000 and $50,000. This is sort of the above and beyond medical costs, etc. But even as you scroll deeper here, you can see that the average commercial business premise liability is about $345,000. So just in terms of solving for a big problem, and you see more here as well, depending on how badly someone gets hurt. The premise here for me was thinking in terms of how big is the problem, and that dictates the likelihood that you can come in with a low level of technical expertise, reference these kinds of stories, reference these costs, and go to every small business in your community, every store, restaurant, arena, school even, and you can help them to understand, hey, look, there's really simple and easy ways to fix this problem. You can almost be sort of a consultant on it. What you can also do is go and have tape made to replace that old outdated tape and maybe throw some yellow or orange lines on it, make it a little brighter, make it a little more obvious. And from there, you can take other steps like, cracked doorknob, cracked boards, things you can trip and fall on, just anywhere where you can sort of apply that knowledge really simple and easy. It's a great way to start to build this idea of a simple business that requires no initial skills. All I did was grab a quick domain, and I'll be able to fire up a website on GoDaddy or Wix or wherever, or WordPress even, really quickly and easily explaining what I do so that when I go and approach these businesses, I can reference them back, to my website. Excuse me. This also really helps in terms of creating free Facebook pages, free Twitter pages, free YouTube accounts with tips and tricks. The real value you're providing here is that, look, instead of being sued for 10, 50, 350, $1 million, we can come in and quickly and easily fix these really simple things that lead to real slip and fall accidents. This isn't about any kind of scammy BS. This is real stuff. Like, hey, you don't have the right kind of stuff on the floor to prevent slip and falls. Let me help you do something about that and show you why it's worthwhile. When you're protecting someone from huge costs, you also have the ability to charge more for that. So this then led me into the idea of, well, what about car crashes? What about knowing who's to blame in a car crash? Because those can be significant. The fender benders lead to big lawsuits, etc. So it started with this idea of these staged car accidents being on the rise. I just did a quick search here, and you can see here there's lots of articles. I won't go into the details of what staged car crashes are, the rise of them, how they're making money doing these things, and how it's multiple parties. And it got me thinking about a dash cam. Funny enough, as I'm researching dash cams, I see this: the dashboard camera market to grow almost $17 billion by 2029 with a CAGR, a compound annual growth rate of 21.8%. So we're talking billions growing at 22%. That's an enormous market and one you don't need to be a big part of. So very, very recently, I sold another small business of mine that was really focused on home security. All I did was string up a really simple couple page website, I got some affiliate links, some third-party tools that were for sale, sort of a drop ship model, threw them on the site. And you could go to the site, get some tips and tricks on the blogs, quickly and easily purchase, whatever you want on there. It was linking back to an Amazon, basically, right? So nothing crazy here. But because of it, it had a good, easy name for the website. It had people who were visiting the website, and it had easy to buy products that were generating a little bit of money in the back end. Nothing crazy. I don't want to oversell this. But what I realized was there's a really big player in the market who owns a lot of home security devices. And, when you're competing with them, even if you steal 0.1% or 0.2% from them, that suddenly makes that website really valuable to get off the market and get into their hands. So that was sort of the premise for a lot of this. So I don't want to go through all the details of how I think about building the site. I did that on the lead generation video. You can definitely check that out. But the goal is to make it really easy for those consumers to understand what you're providing. So I wanted to grab two easy names. So I quite literally this morning, for less than $20, got lawsuitprotect.com and I got crash-cam.com. I explained this on the last video. I want to explain it again. Both of those names are really simple and easy to understand, which means I have a couple things I can do. I could resell those names. I could potentially build a simple website to let it run automatically and make a little bit of money with ads and affiliate marketing. Or I can go and actually try to build them up into real companies, real consultancies, real products. I can create and brand my own white labeled dash cam, for example, right? If I find a manufacturer who has their own dash cam, perhaps I can do a deal where I license it out and put my name on it, right? Crash Dash Cam is the name of the cameras that I sell, right? There's different models. There's simple, basic, advanced models. There's AI-driven models, whatever the case might be. So I just want to call this out because there's so many ways to think about starting something that can really grow and become, a side hustle, a stream of income, or a big business. Either of these has the potential to be a massive business. On the lawsuit piece, the Lawsuit Protect, you can go and partner with insurance companies and go out and say to the people that they work with or they insure, hey, here's what I think you should be doing. What would it really take to learn the 4, 5, 6 most common reasons that businesses get in trouble? Not a whole lot, right? And how much do you really need to generate to make it worthwhile and start to automate that? Then how do you build products around that? Now, instead of going and scraping up the tape and repainting a floor, you're simply selling your own branded tape, right? You're selling your own branded sort of slip-proof paint or whatever the case might be. And this is the way to think about doing things that are not technical, don't require technical skills, don't require a deep set of knowledge, but add a ton of value to an industry that has huge costs. So I welcome any questions you have below. I'll happily answer whatever you ask. What I would urge you to do is stop thinking that you have to build the next analytics company, the next data server company, an AI company, right? You don't need to launch cryptocurrencies. You don't need to have the new software on the street. If you can do those things, great, good for you. The failure rate in those is equally huge, if not more, than these simple business ideas too. So keep that in mind, that even genius engineers and developers still don't really get a lot of these products to market. They require massive amounts of capital, massive amounts of time to build, and for good reason, right? They generate huge amounts of wealth for those who succeed. But I think the average person out there who has that entrepreneurial itch, that desire to do a startup or a small business, you can really generate a simple digital approach to an idea that's going to deliver real value. And in the case of both of these ideas, the goal is simple. How do I help someone protect themselves from something bad happening that's already a market that exists today? The dash cam market is going to be $17 billion and growing at 22%. That's a market I don't mind being in, right? The fraudulent car crashes are on the rise, costing people huge amounts of money. Insurance premiums, our insurance keeps going up, right? How do we start to jump in and help that market? Now you're helping not only the folks who are driving the cars, maybe you can provide an affordable, easy to use dash cam and also grow your brand on that. And what's more, if you're really looking for a big idea, don't just sell the hardware, find a way to get that hardware downloaded into an app, and now you have a SaaS company. Once you start generating the money from the hardware, that actual physical camera, then you can go and hire the people you need to build the app or the connectivity or whatever it is, of course. So team, that's it. I just want you to be thinking simple, but still big, easy, but still complex in delivery. I want you to realize that you have everything you need today to do this. And if you notice, the entire cost that I mentioned in this entire video was $20. Absolutely, you can buy a domain for $10, $15, $20, whatever it is. Get an official email for $5, get some business cards for $5, and for under 30, you have a functioning business. You've got a website, you do a free Facebook page, you do a Twitter account, you do a YouTube channel, you do whatever else you want to do that's free, and then you just start knocking on doors, leaving your business card, referencing them back to the website. It doesn't need to be complex to make a lot of money, right? If you just think about how many stairs or steps or step downs there are in businesses within 10 miles of your front door that you could walk in today and potentially trip on, or are uneven or not marked properly, right? Those are opportunities. If you think about a market that's growing at 22% into the billions of dollars, you don't need to create your own camera. Provide a resource, a website that explains what the cameras are, what they do, what the different types mean, how to use them, how to set them up, the value of having it, right? Then through those links, they'll buy them. You get paid a piece of it. It's just like having a commission sales job. So team, that's it. I want to be quick and easy today. Stop trying to find the next, gigantic company out there. It's great if that's what you want to do, but you don't need to start there. You can build into that later on. So everybody, I hope this was valuable. Please let me know down below if you've got ideas. And let me tell you too, stop being scared someone's going to steal your ideas. I share all of these. And you know what? No one has ever tried to steal one from me, and they keep working for me too. So my point is, they're big markets. There's fractured players. You can jump in, make an impact, and make a whole bunch of money for yourself. So with that, I appreciate everybody. Hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching. See you, team.